Few television series in American history managed to combine emotional warmth, historical hardship, and moral storytelling as effectively as Little House on the Prairie. Airing from 1974 to 1983, the show transported audiences into the fictional rural community of Walnut Grove, inspired by the autobiographical novels of Laura Ingalls Wilder. At a time when television was rapidly evolving, the series stood out for its grounded portrayal of frontier life, where daily survival was often intertwined with moral dilemmas and emotional struggles. Families tuned in not just for entertainment but for a sense of continuity, as the show presented a world that felt stable, intimate, and deeply human. What made the series especially impactful was its ability to balance simplicity with emotional depth. The Ingalls family, Charles, Caroline, Mary, Laura, and later Carrie, became symbolic of resilience in the face of adversity. Their experiences reflected broader themes of poverty, migration, discrimination, and community solidarity. Viewers were drawn to its sincerity, where conflicts were rarely superficial and resolutions often carried meaningful lessons. Over the years, the show built a loyal audience that extended across generations, becoming more than a weekly program. It became a cultural touchstone that shaped how many people understood historical family life on the American frontier. The rise of Walnut Grove and its cultural impact. As Little House on the Prairie gained momentum in the mid-1970s, it quickly became one of the most recognizable and emotionally resonant television dramas of its time. Walnut Grove, though fictional, felt like a real place to millions of viewers. The town's schoolhouse, general store, church, and surrounding fields created a visual identity that symbolized community life in the American frontier. The series did not rely on flashy effects or high-stakes action. Instead, it built its appeal through relationships, moral conflict, and emotional storytelling. Audiences connected deeply with the everyday struggles of the characters. Episodes often explored themes such as economic hardship, illness, prejudice, and personal loss, yet always maintained a sense of hope. This combination of realism and optimism gave the series a unique tone that distinguished it from other family dramas of the era. It also helped define NBC's programming identity during its run, drawing consistent viewership and becoming a staple of American households. By the late 1970s, Little House on the Prairie had established itself not just as entertainment, but as a shared emotional experience. Families watched together, discussed episodes afterward, and often saw reflections of their own values in the stories unfolding on screen. Its cultural impact extended beyond television ratings, influencing how historical fiction was approached in mainstream media, characters that felt like family. One of the defining strengths of Little House on the Prairie was its deeply human characterization. At the center was Charles Ingalls, portrayed by Michael Landon, a figure of steadfast moral strength and emotional intelligence. Alongside him, Caroline Ingalls represented patience, compassion, and resilience, forming a balanced parental dynamic that grounded the series. Their daughters, particularly Laura Ingalls, played by Melissa Gilbert, became the emotional lens through which audiences experienced the world of Walnut Grove. Laura's journey from childhood innocence to adulthood provided the emotional backbone of the series. Her curiosity, mistakes, and growth mirrored the coming-of-age experiences of many viewers. Secondary characters, including teachers, neighbors, and town residents, further enriched the narrative tapestry, giving Walnut Grove a sense of lived-in authenticity. Each character contributed to a broader portrait of frontier life, where personal struggles often intersected with communal responsibility. The strength of the writing lay in its ability to treat characters as evolving individuals rather than static figures. Over time, viewers witnessed marriages, losses, conflicts, and reconciliations that deepened emotional investment. This character-driven storytelling helped transform the show into something more enduring than episodic television. It became a long-form narrative about human resilience and connection. Michael Landon's creative control and vision. Behind the success of Little House on the Prairie was Michael Landon, who served not only as the lead actor but also as a writer, director, and executive producer. His creative influence shaped nearly every aspect of the series, from its tone to its narrative direction. Landon envisioned the show as a moral storytelling platform, one that could address difficult social issues while remaining accessible to family audiences. This level of creative control allowed for a consistent voice across episodes, but it also created tensions behind the scenes. Landon's strong personality and decisive leadership style sometimes clashed with other creative contributors. Nevertheless, his commitment to storytelling integrity ensured that the series maintained a clear emotional identity throughout its long run. Landon's approach often involved blending entertainment with moral instruction, a style that resonated strongly with audiences of the time. He believed television could serve as both reflection and guidance, offering viewers not just stories but lessons about empathy, fairness, and perseverance. While his methods were sometimes debated among colleagues, there is little doubt that his vision played a central role in shaping the enduring legacy of the series, storytelling that confronted real social issues. Unlike many family-oriented shows of its era, Little House on the Prairie was unafraid to address serious and often uncomfortable social issues. Episodes dealt with racism, illness, disability, addiction, poverty, and domestic violence, topics that were rarely explored with such directness in 1970s television. Rather than simplifying these issues, the show often portrayed them with emotional complexity and moral ambiguity. This willingness to engage with difficult subject matter gave the series a distinctive identity. Episodes frequently placed characters in situations where there were no easy answers, forcing them, and the audience, to confront ethical dilemmas. The storytelling approach encouraged empathy and reflection, making the show both educational and emotionally impactful. At its best, the series demonstrated how storytelling could bridge historical context with contemporary relevance. Though set in the 19th century, its themes often mirrored modern social concerns, allowing viewers to draw parallels between past and present. This layered narrative structure contributed significantly to the show's long-term cultural significance, controversial episodes, and emotional story arcs. Throughout its run, Little House on the Prairie produced several episodes that sparked strong emotional reactions from audiences. Some storylines were particularly intense, dealing with trauma, injustice, or personal loss in ways that challenged viewer expectations of family television. These episodes often stood out because they pushed the boundaries of what was considered appropriate for mainstream network programming at the time. One of the most talked about aspects of the series was its ability to evoke discomfort while still maintaining narrative integrity. Rather than avoiding tragedy, the show often placed it at the center of its storytelling. This approach sometimes divided audiences. Some praised its honesty, while others felt it was too heavy for family viewing. Nevertheless, these episodes contributed to the show's reputation for emotional depth and realism. Over time, certain story arcs became iconic, discussed and analyzed long after their original broadcasts. They helped solidify the series as more than just nostalgic entertainment. It became a benchmark for emotionally serious television drama within a family-friendly framework. The Final Farewell and the Destruction of Walnut Grove. The conclusion of Little House on the Prairie reached its most dramatic point in the 1984 television movie The Last Farewell. In this story, Walnut Grove faces the threat of being seized by a powerful landowner, forcing the townspeople into an impossible situation. Rather than allow their home to be taken and repurposed, they make the emotional decision to destroy it themselves. The resulting destruction of Walnut Grove became one of the most unforgettable moments in television history. Buildings such as the schoolhouse, church, and general store were blown up in a carefully staged sequence that symbolized finality and emotional closure. Importantly, the production used practical effects and physical demolition of the set, rather than relying solely on post-production visual effects, making the moment feel strikingly real. This creative choice turned the finale into a powerful metaphor for endings, ownership, and emotional closure. It marked not just the end of a story, but the deliberate erasure of a world that had existed for nearly a decade on screen. The emotional weight of this decision continues to be discussed decades later. Myths, memory, and the reality behind the ending. Over time, the destruction of Walnut Grove became surrounded by myths and misunderstandings. Some viewers believed the episode had been banned or suppressed, while others assumed it was never rebroadcast. In reality, the finale did air and was later shown in syndication, although programming choices often favored lighter episodes during daytime reruns. The dramatic nature of the ending contributed to its mythologization. Because it was so emotionally and visually striking, many viewers remembered it as more extreme than it actually was in context. The story of the town's destruction became part of television folklore, often cited as one of the boldest series conclusions ever attempted. This blending of fact and memory highlights how powerful television storytelling can become in public consciousness. Over time, the emotional impression of a scene can become more influential than its production details, shaping cultural narratives in unexpected ways. The enduring influence of a frontier story on modern television. The influence of Little House on the Prairie extends far beyond its original broadcast years, shaping how later television series approached historical storytelling, family drama, and emotional realism. Its blend of episodic morality and serialized character development became a blueprint for many shows that followed, especially those seeking to balance entertainment with meaningful themes. In an era before prestige television became a standard label, the series demonstrated that emotionally driven narratives could sustain long-term audience engagement without relying on spectacle or constant reinvention. Modern family dramas and historical series often echo the structure popularized by Walnut Grove's stories: tight-knit communities, recurring moral dilemmas, and character arcs that evolve slowly over time. The show's willingness to confront difficult topics within a family-friendly framework also paved the way for later productions to explore heavier themes, while still maintaining broad accessibility. Even contemporary creators cite the series as an early example of television that respected its audience's emotional intelligence, trusting viewers to engage with complex social and ethical issues, behind-the-scenes tensions, and personal complexities. Like many long-running productions, Little House on the Prairie experienced its share of behind-the-scenes tensions. Michael Landon's dual role as both star and creative leader occasionally led to disagreements with cast and crew members. Differences in creative direction, compensation, and workload contributed to an atmosphere that was not always harmonious. Some cast members later reflected on challenges related to communication and working dynamics, while others emphasized the collaborative spirit that sustained the show for nearly a decade. As with many successful productions, both perspectives coexist, reflecting the complexity of long-term creative collaboration. In addition to professional dynamics, personal relationships among cast and crew also influenced the atmosphere on set. Over time, these interactions shaped how individuals remembered their experiences, sometimes leading to reconciliations and sometimes to distance. These human complexities added another layer to the show's legacy beyond what appeared on screen, a legacy of emotional storytelling and cultural memory. Despite its behind-the-scenes challenges and controversial moments, Little House on the Prairie remains one of the most influential family dramas in television history. Its legacy lies not only in its storytelling but in its willingness to portray life as both beautiful and difficult. The series demonstrated that family entertainment could address serious themes without losing emotional accessibility. Even decades after its original broadcast, the show continues to attract new audiences through reruns and streaming platforms. Its stories still resonate because they focus on universal human experiences: love, loss, growth, and moral decision-making. The emotional honesty of the series allows it to remain relevant across generations. Ultimately, the legacy of Little House on the Prairie is defined by its emotional courage. It showed that television could be both comforting and challenging, nostalgic and thought-provoking. Whether remembered for its quiet moments or its explosive finale, it continues to hold a place in cultural memory as a story about people trying to build meaning and community in an uncertain world.